Alright, what's up guys, and welcome back to another installment of Solo Garage. So today we are back with the S2000. She still doesn't have a name, so if any of you guys want to give some suggestions or anything like that, leave them down below. But today she needs an oil change, and that's what we're going to do today. So, I'm gonna turn on the car real quick. As you can see, my maintenance required light is flashing, meaning it's time for an oil change. And also at the end of the video, I'll show you guys how to reset that maintenance light. So while we're still in here, let's go ahead and pop the latch for the hood. So let me get this to focus real quick. As you can see, it calls for 10W30 oil. Real common problem with these S2000s is they will burn oil. I don't seem to be having that problem yet, but if you guys are, I personally suggest running 10W40. Seems to help with that issue some, and also just keep a little bit of extra oil on you. Just check it every week, and if you guys are low, just top it off. But for now, all I got is the Mobile 1 10W30. Calls for 5.1 quarts. So like I said, always keep that extra quart with you just in case. Also have a OEM Honda filter. There's a number. I'll probably leave another link in the description down below with all the specs for how much oil, oil filter, oil capacity, and all that. One weird thing is, for some reason, the oil filter for my Civic, which is actually next door being worked on, is a different oil filter than the one on the S2000. The one on the Civic is a smaller one, and the one on this 2000 is bigger, so I actually wait a day for that one to come in. I asked them, they had no idea, of course, but I just found that pretty interesting on Honda's part. First off, you're gonna want to jack up the car. After jacking up the vehicle, I usually recommend using a jack stand. But like I said, the Civic is in the other bay, currently using up both of them. So in the case of my S2000, we're going to be using a 17mm socket to loosen the oil drain plug. And of course you're going to want a oil drain pan to catch all that oil in. And so we're gonna let that drain till it's about a good little drip. Doesn't look like the oil was too bad, not too dark. And seems like we're getting a lot out. So I've got the oil drain plug cleaned off. I'm gonna go ahead and change this washer out. As I mentioned in my last video, oil change video, it's always nice just to change them out every oil change if you possibly can. Honda was nice enough to provide me with another washer, so that's what we'll be doing. So again, for the oil drain plug, I will be using my Craftsman torque wrench. For the S2000, it is 29 foot-pounds. But again, if you guys don't have a torque wrench, just make sure you tighten the plug just enough and then give it just a little bit more. You don't want to go over tight and happen to strip out your oil pan. Especially with these oil pans, since they are aluminum, it is very easy to strip out. And that's definitely something you don't want, because then you will be leaking oil later. Probably have to use an oversized plug, or maybe if it gets too bad, get a new oil pan. So just always err on the side of caution when it comes to tightening down the oil drain plug. So all we have now is a nice little drip. Should be good to put the oil plug back in. We'll torque it down and then clean up around the area around it. And there it is. So now to take the oil filter off. So unless you've done an oil filter relocation, your filter should be on the passenger side of the engine. And if anything, it's probably easier just to get from up top. So try to put an oil filter wrench on it. Fortunately, the one we have is too big. And after struggling with it for a few minutes, finally got the sucker loose. Somebody had put all their freaking back into it, but there it goes. As with the oil drain plug, you want to get the oil filter tight, and then maybe just a little more after that, but nothing crazy so that you're struggling to get it off next time. So now that we got the old oil filter off, again, we're gonna put a dab of oil around the ring and then place her back on the car. And again, you want it on tight, but loose enough that you can get it off later. Alright, so now that we have the oil drain plug and the oil filter back in, we're gonna clean up around it, put our oil back in, and then start up the car and see if we have any leaks. Alright, so let's take our oil cap off. Grab a funnel. And start pouring some oil. So we'll take this whole 5 quarts and then 0.1 out of the other quart that we got. So in order to reset the maintenance required light, you're gonna have to want your key in the 0 position, or pretty much when you first put it in. Hold the trip button, turn the key to the on position, hold it for another 10 seconds, and your main required light should go out. Alright, now let's verify. Turn it back off. And no flashing, so we are good. And we have all our oil in. Let's go ahead and start the car and look for some oil leaks. Doesn't seem like we have any, so let's shut off the vehicle. Lower the car back down. And lastly, check our oil level. Alright, so your oil dipstick is right here. You don't want to clean it off the first time. Stick it right back in. Take it back out. Check your oil level. It is a little dark in here. Looks good. And that's that. So S2000s do have a little bit of a issue when reading the oil level on the dipstick. I might make a video on that later, just as a helpful tip for those of you that don't know how to read it on the S2000s. But it seems like everything's good. She'll live to run another day. So if you guys have any tips, comments, anything like that, leave them down below. I hope you guys are having a great day. I will be leaving a description of all the tools I used, torque settings, as I said earlier, oil capacity, all that, down in the description below. So if you guys can, leave a like, share the content, and have a great day, you guys.